Hello, everybody. It is Sunday night, and it is that time again. It is time for Vince Russo and the great Big Vito LaGrassa to get some color. Mr. Vito, how you doing, bro?
How's everything, Vince? The Pavarotti of Hard Shots and Body is here, celebrating getting color, the brand, the team. There's no I's in team, and we put it together large for you people out there. Having a good day, having a good time. It's a Sunday. Our team's lost, but here we are getting color, and we're going to make magic tonight. Vince, the hot topic on Twitter, the releases from the WWE. Take it from there, Vince.
Well, yeah, Vito, kind of not going to mention a name because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I'm not going to mention a name. I'm not going to mention what organization he works with. But I keep in contact, bro, with various active wrestlers from various promotions. Let me just put it to you that way.
Okay.
And recently, I got a message from somebody who is extremely talented through the eyes of Vince Russo. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to say who he works for. But the funny thing, bro, and this was going to be the topic tonight, and now the Emma situation, and I guess Summer Rae, and I think there was who's the other guy? The guy that was with back.
The announcer guy.
No, not the announcer guy. Darren Young, the guy who was with Backlund.
Yeah.
Based upon their release, this all fits together. The other day from this individual, and here's what he said to me, bro. You're gonna get a kick out of this. He said, Vince, telling me I gotta play the game. 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 I don't even know what game they're talking about, bro. This is a young athlete trying to make a name for himself in the business, being told, by management, by fellow workers, by his boss, by everybody involved, you got to play the game. You got to play the game. You got to play the game. Now, Vito, let's go beyond professional wrestling, bro, because this is a show that we like to help people. And, bro, it almost seems, Vito, like whatever you do for a living, bro, wherever you work, whatever profession you're in, bro, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a fireman, a policeman, a garbage man, it doesn't matter. It seems whatever you do for a living, you always hear that phrase, play the game. You got to play the game. I know I heard it for 25 freaking years, bro. Vito, when I tell you, here you are, the mean streets of Staten Island, a veteran of three major companies. When I say to you immediately, Vito, you got to play the game. What does that mean to you immediately?
You got to mesh. You got to do what you got to do to keep afloat. You got to, mingle with the people who are in charge and keep your nose clean, your mouth shut, and do what they say. You have to play the game. You have to do exactly what it is. Now you talk about the streets of Staten Island, and let's take it from their real life, people. Okay, let's go real life here. I come from Staten Island. I was associated with people. I worked for people. I did things, in the neighborhood. But you know what? If you got a big mouth, they don't want you. If you do for them the favors they ask, you're accepted. If you excel at that and you do it well, you make yourself a little reputation. Well, when they asked me to do something, I did it well. When they asked me to go and take care of things, I took care of things. I meshed with those people. But I didn't kiss nobody's ass. I just earned it on my work. When you have a job and you're doing stuff and you think, I'm going to do good at this job, I'm going to do well, I'm going to do everything the boss says. And even if you do everything the boss says, you're not going to keep that job no matter what, because as soon as he gets a fly in his butt, you're out the door. Now, guys, Vince Russo is a smart guy's college education. He's got everything behind him. When we met, he was at PC Richards, trying to make ends meet, trying to do his thing, right? And he was doing everything he could at that job to make to make good. He wanted a career. When Vince had his video store and he was doing things and he did X, Y, and Z, trying to make this, trying to make that, did he succeed? Did he play the game? Of course he did. He played it the best he could. Sometimes you fail. Sometimes playing the game doesn't get you everywhere. In some industries, you need to play the game. That means you need to schmooze and you need to party and be in the right clique and you need to kiss ass and you need to, hobnob with the right people. Be with the in people in the in places. Don't be with the out people in the out places. That's how it works, people. Vince, you can take it from there.
Well, Vito, it's a very, very, very fine line because let's break this down now. Play the game. You got to play the game. Vito, sometimes playing the game means that you have to do something that you don't necessarily want to do, or if you had a choice, you wouldn't do it. And maybe it's against your moral fiber. Bro, that's a very thin line right there. And I got to tell you, Vito, sometimes I played the game. Sometimes I didn't play the game because to me, the most important thing was, listen, man, I got a wife and I've got children and I have to be able to look myself in the mirror. I have to be true to myself. Yes, a job is important. The money is important. But at the end of the day, is that more important than my integrity, bro? And what that means basically is this, Vito, when I know they're effing with me. When I know they're effing with me, am I supposed to play the game and let them F with me and kind of, give up my integrity, just in order to play the game and get ahead? I think that's the very thin line because, Vito, I got to tell you, when it came to that, I didn't play the freaking game.
No, I know you didn't. And you know what? I didn't play the game either. One thing that people don't realize, you're talking about 25 years ago when you break in the wrestling business, guys. And 25 years ago, there wasn't all this outness. Kayfabe was big. The business was a secret. You didn't know what's what. But the one thing you broke in with, so you got to work hard. You have to learn your craft. You have to learn how to wrestle. The business side of it, they didn't tell you that. You had to figure it out for yourself. It wasn't on the resume. You got to know how to do business. All you had to do was know how to wrestle. Learn psychology. Learn to be a ring general. Learn to be a great wrestler. You're not there to sell merchandise. You're not there to sell gimmicks. You're there to get booked at every show possible, make money, and move on. That's the way you learn. Now that you're talking 25 years ago, you're talking Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels, all in the same locker room, all young guns in their prime. Okay, Vince and I were starting out in the wrestling business. A year later, I got my foot in the door and I seen it. What did I see? I saw you how to be a good wrestler. Shut up, do your job, don't be a mark, and just sit there and be accepted. They ask you to do something, you do it. If you came on a recommendation, you acted accordingly. Vince got his foot in the door 4 years later. He did the writer's job. He did a good job. He wrote his things. He did everything. Then he moved up. That's when the game got difficult because then he saw a different avenue of the game in the booking committees. Now he's there with 3 or 4 people who had jobs there who are already seated. Here's Vince Russo coming in off the magazine in there in creative, and Vince McMahon sees a different light, sees a different aspect of something. So he dismisses the other 3 guys. What happens when he dismisses the other 3 guys? The other 3 guys are not playing in the same ballpark. Now Vince Russo is playing the game with Vince McMahon.
Vito, you want to hear something that happened, and I don't think I've ever shared this story with you, and I'm going to share some stories with people along the way because, again, this goes beyond wrestling, guys. If you're listening to this show and you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter if you're working for a living, these are the things you're going to be, these are the things you're going to have to deal with. And I'm going to tell you how I deal with it. I'm going to tell you why. Vito, I'll never forget this, bro. I was just doing the magazine. Everybody left me alone. I was editor of the magazine. I was running the magazine. Nobody was trying to get my job. I didn't have to look behind my back. I was just doing my job day to day. All of a sudden, bro, let me give you the breakdown. J.J. Dillon goes to WCW. Jim Ross, I'm sorry. J.J. Dillon goes to WCW. He was talent relations. Okay, bro?
Right.
Bruce Pritchard lobbied for that job. He wanted that job so badly of talent relations. He got the job as talent relations. Okay, bro? That opened up his writing spot. So now Vince McMahon took me and slid me into that writing spot when at the very beginning, it was myself, Jim Cornette, and Vince McMahon. That was it. It was the three of us. Before that, it had been Bruce Pritchard and Jim Cornette. So Bruce Pritchard went to talent relations. Vince Russo went on the booking team. Vito, I want people to understand how this works. And I'm going to tell you how I played this, okay? I don't know what happened with Bruce Pritchard in talent relations. I don't know if he made a bad decision. I don't know what it was, bro. But literally 2 weeks after getting the job, he was out of the job. And Jim Ross was put in that spot. All of a sudden, bro, Bruce Pritchard now found himself in no man's land. And Vito, I'll never forget this. All the big guns were on the fourth floor. You know, Vince McMahon, JR, Bruce, they all were on the fourth floor. I wrote the magazine on the second floor. When I became a writer, I did not want to move up to the fourth floor. Leave me alone on my second floor. I'll continue to write the magazine, but bro, right next to me was a department called Creative Services. You know, they came up with the costuming, the gimmicks. They had a lot. They were really the creative arm of the WWE. It was run by a woman by the name of Debbie Bonanzio. Now, you got to remember, Vito, we worked very close to each other, right next to each other. So we interacted a lot. You know, when I was publications, she was creative services. We reacted a lot. Okay? Bro, all of a sudden, Vito, now I'm writing with Vince and Cornette. Bruce is kind of in no man's land now because he's out as talent relations and JR's in. All of a sudden, bro, Bruce calls me up to his office. He said, Vince, we have an issue. And I said, really, Bruce, what's the issue? Well, nobody can work with you. Bro, keep in mind, I'm like, literally, Vito, I'm minding my own freaking business. I'm the same guy that was writing the magazine. The fact that Vince bumped me up to television, I was the same guy. I said, what are you talking about? People can't work with you, bro. They say you're very hard to work with. Debbie Bonanzio says she doesn't want to work with you. Vito, as the words are coming out of my mouth, maybe Bruce forgot he's from Texas, I'm from New York, and I don't care how long he was in the wrestling business. I was from New York, and I smelt his bullshit a mile away. Okay, bro? Now, I could have went at it with him tooth and nail right there. And I said, Bruce, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any issues with Debbie Bonanzio. Literally, bro, I have no idea. Well, people are just saying, man, you're hard to work with. Okay? So, Vito, guess what I do? I go to Debbie Bonanzio. And I said, Debbie, listen, if I offended you in any way, if I act out of school, anything, please, you know, with my sincere apology. If I, what she goes, Vince, what are you talking about? I said, well, I just came from Bruce's office and Bruce told me that you told him that I was very hard to work with. Debbie goes to me, Vince, I never had a conversation with Bruce Pritchard about you. Bruce Pritchard and I never discussed you. So even though I already knew Bruce was full of shit because I wasn't giving anybody a hard time, now I knew, okay, now Bruce is playing the game to get his freaking job back. Okay? So, bro, immediately I went to Vince McMahon and I said, Vince, I'm not used to this, bro. I'm not a political guy, Vince. You give me a job to do, I'm going to do that freaking job. I'm not driven by money. I'm not driven by power. I'm not driven by title. I'm not driven by a corner office. You give me the job, I'm going to do the job to the best of my capability. I don't play this stuff, bro. And I have no interest in playing this stuff. And I told him exactly what happened with Bruce and exactly what happened when I addressed Debbie Bonanzio. Vince basically said to me, he goes, Vince, don't worry, I'll handle it. As if he knew he knew exactly what Bruce did. He knew how Bruce was. He didn't question me for a freaking second. Bro, whatever Vince McMahon said to Bruce Pritchard that day, Bruce never messed with me again. It was over, end of game. I don't know what Vince said to him, but that was the freaking end of it. Now, playing the game, bro. Playing the game. Now, what would have happened, Vito, if I would have played the game? And I would have let Bruce get one over me. And I would have kept my mouth shut and not said anything. And he would have continued to do damage until maybe he did get his old spot back and I was out. You see what I'm saying, bro? So there's Vito, there's playing the game, but we got to be honest with each other, bro. Playing the game can also hurt you in the long run. That's why this was my game, bro. My game is honesty. I'm going to be freaking honest with you. That's my freaking game. You want to play politics. You want to be a politician. You want to bullshit. You want to play games. Go, bro. Go do all that. But my game is honesty. And that's the way I handle myself in the WWE. But also remember, bro, Vince McMahon had my back. So if you mess with Vince Russo, you messed with Vince McMahon. Now, let's take that situation by itself. And then I'm going to move on, bro, to when I didn't have Vince McMahon having my back. But, bro, if I would have played the game at that point in time, instead of sticking up for myself, it may be a whole different story today.
No, you're absolutely right. And guys, I'm going to enlighten you on some things. Everybody says Big Vito LaGrasso is hard to work with. Vito was this, Vito was that, Vito was the other thing. What Vince Russo just explained was the same thing. If I heard somebody said something about me, I went up and confronted that person. I didn't play the behind the scenes thing. I wasn't. Now you're talking about wrestler to wrestler, man to man. There was never a time that I backed down from anybody. There was never a time that I hid. There was never a time where I was confronted. If I heard you say something about me, I power walked to you. I said, yo, man, so-and-so said this. What's your beef? I ain't got no problem. No, he said this. What's the problem? Of course, there was no problem, and I never took crap from nobody. And taking no crap from people when they know they can't fool you, work you, bullshit you, they get mad. They don't like it. Okay. There was that thing where Vito, if you would have just kissed a little ass, you could have been world champion. Vito, if you could have just played a little bit, and indulged people. I wasn't about playing the game. I was a hardworking guy. I was a wrestler. I worked at my craft. I worked 150% every time I was given an assignment. I went and did my job. I wasn't interested in schmoozing, partying, drinking, drugging, doing anything. I was doing my work. And I was. But it held me back because I didn't things. I didn't take that one step further. I didn't mesh with the right guys. I was my own guy. I didn't carry myself in a pack of 5. I carried myself in a pack of 1.
Well, Vito, looking at that today, though, okay, that's the way you carried yourself, and maybe you never did get that shot at the world title or an intercontinental title or whatever the case may be, or a 7-figure salary. I mean, whatever the case may be. Do you have any regrets? And if so, yes. If not, why?
I don't have any regrets about it because it would not have been, to all the people who know Vito LaGrasso today, and includes Vince Russo and everybody I came up with through the ranks and people from the old neighborhood and people I know, if I was that kiss-ass guy people would have been known I was full of shit, and I wouldn't have achieved anything. And I would not have been the man I am today. I stand up for myself. You look at what's going on in the industry today. I don't have to mention what I stand for. I fight for guys' rights. I do what I got to do. But do I regret it? No. Did I want the shot because I worked for it and that's the way you're supposed to do it? Yes. Could I use a couple $1 million in the bank to help my family? Of course. Did I want to get it by being a kiss ass and being a suck ass? No. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. But I'll tell you one thing. When they gave me the dress gimmick and they tried to, if it was a rib or it wasn't a rib, I took that ball. I ran with that ball. I ran further than anybody ever seen a man run with a dress and a ball and did. It got to where I worked myself into a world title shot with Booker T. I go to work. I think I'm having a world title shot on SmackDown. I get there. Vince calls me in the office. Vito, we're doing something with the network, and Undertaker's going to take your spot for the world title tonight. I was like, Vince, I says, what are you talking about? I says, I worked all this time. I said, Booker's undefeated. I'm undefeated. I said, why are you doing this? Well, it's not us. It's just the network. Somebody didn't like the fact that I went to the top with this. Did I cry? I was upset. But I said, you know what? Shut your mouth. Go do what you got to do. When it was another opportunity to succeed and achieve more than I was going to achieve with the dress, again, I was being held back. Somebody had it in for me, and somebody didn't like the fact that I ran with this and I did it on my own. I didn't kiss ass. I earned it, just like I did with the Mamalukes, just like I did with the Baldies. That's why, just like I did as Big Vito as a singles. That's how I did it in TNA. That's how I did it as Skull Von Crush in the WWF, guys. I didn't play games. I worked for it. Maybe if I would have kissed a little ass, things would be different. But you know what? I like the guy I am. I'm a stand-up guy. I'll take that any day.
Yeah, and Vito, I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to be the 56, 60-year-old guy that knows that I kissed ass and politic to the top. I don't want to be that guy. I'm totally comfortable being who I am now based on what I did. Vito, I want to send a message out there to these people too and make them understand a few things. Listen, bro, here's how politics work. When somebody knows you're better than them and they can't compete with you on an even playing field, bro, I don't care whether you're a freaking mailman. I don't care whether you work in a freaking grocery store. It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you work on Wall Street. When you're better than somebody and they are not as good as you and they can't compete on a level playing field, here's what's going to happen, bro. They're going to unlevel that playing field by playing politics to tarnish you, to damage you, and to bring you down. That's what they're going to do, bro, because they know they can't compete with you on your level. Now, I fast forward to WCW. Bro, within a month, every time I turned around, and I just saw him at I just saw him at a convention over the weekend, and I've long forgiven both of them. I hold no grudges because it's the freaking wrestling business, and the wrestling business does some bad things to people. But every time I turned around, J.J. Dillon and Kevin Sullivan were having sidebars. As soon as I would look at them, they'd stop talking and go their separate ways. You know what that means. We're from New York, Vito. We're not idiots. They were talking about me. They were planning. They were strategizing. And I saw this happen about 10 times. But here's what I told myself. And if you're in this same situation at work, take the advice from Vince Russo, bro. Those people that play politics, okay, if they win, first of all, I'm not wasting any of my time with politics. God gave me talents just like he gave you talents, and whatever my job is, all my time and energy is going to go to the job. Even though I knew they were playing the politics behind my back, I was not going to get involved in the game because I had a television show to write. Period. End of story. But here's the way I looked at it. This is how I looked at it, and this is how anybody in this spot should look at it. First of all, bro, if you lose because of politics, two things are going to happen. Number one, you know you were doing it the right way. You know what happened. You know people stabbed you in the back. And at the end of the day, that's going to hurt the company. It's not going to hurt you. You know what you're capable of. You know you're a hard worker. You know that you want to get by on hard work and dedication and determination. And you know what? You'll go work someplace else that will appreciate you. So that's number one. It's the loss of the company. It's not your loss. Because quite frankly, you don't want to work for a company that's stupid, that they're falling for that crap when you're the guy working your ass off and these other guys are politicians to take you down. But here's the second part of that. All of a sudden now the politicians, they find themselves in the spot, and guess what? Now they have to deliver. Well, here's the problem. They weren't in the spot in the first place because they couldn't deliver. So now they're in that spot and they still can't deliver. So that's why when that happened with me, I knew the politics were going on. I said, hey, no problem, guys. You want to listen to them? You want to put them in charge? Put them in charge. Because number one, it's going to hurt you and your product. And number two, they're not going to be able to deliver. That's exactly what happened at WCW. I went home. I said, keep my paychecks coming. Call me when you need me. 3 months later, I was back where I was in the first place. And it was a massive waste of 3 months. But I want everybody to know that. You don't have to play the politics. If you do your job, you deliver the goods, you're on time, you're a model employee. If your boss can be worked by a lying, conniving thief, then that company is going to suffer. There's always going to be some place for you to go. Vito?
Now, Vince, now that you brought that up, I am going to tell people the truth about after the dress. After the dress, Vince came up to me. He said, we'd like to get you out of the dress. He says, you can do another gimmick. He says, let's get you some pictures and let's work on it together. I said, okay, Vince, let's do this. I was upset because I worked my ass off. I said, I didn't want to give up the gimmick, but I said, you know what? I'll play ball. Man, my boss is talking to me. I went and I was training. I was good friends with Dave Bautista. We used to do Muay Thai training in the garage and at his home. So every week we do the Muay Thai training, and it became good, and I became very good at it. So I got to thinking. I said, all right, I look like Kung Lee, and I wore the Mong Kong. I got the MMA shorts. I was the only guy in WWE history when he was off the road to go to Deep South Championship Wrestling and OVW in the same week. I went from Deep South to OVW tapings, and I worked on this gimmick. I went home. I practiced Muay Thai 3 times a week. I went to the TV tapings, and I worked at it. It was a work in progress. I became very good. I even surprised myself the things I could do in Muay Thai, and I was like, okay. Jody Hamilton helped me. Al Snow helped me. Even what's his name? Anyway, Al Snow, Jody Hamilton, the other guy in charge of Deep South, they liked this stuff. Mike Bucci, who was in charge of talent relations, Steve Kern come down, and they take a look and they say, Vito. He says, this is great. And Mike Bucci was my buddy. Steve Kern I was good with. They said, Vito, you come into TV next week. I said, great. Thank you very much. I achieved my goal. I worked this new gimmick. That Tuesday, Monday, I get a phone call. You're released from the company. Somebody had it in for me, and somebody did me dirty. I know who it is. I'm not going to say it. But people, when you work your heart out, and I put my heart and soul into something, and I said I was going to accomplish this again, and people couldn't figure out what. why I did this is they told me, Vito, you did the dress for Vince, and Vince said Vince is going to have a job for you for the rest of your life. You went down there to OVW in Deep South. You're helping with the guys. You're doing your thing. Nobody goes down there on their own. I said, I know that. I said, but I want to train. I want to be in the ring. I always want to be in ring shape. You tell me what I did wrong to lose my position, and that's the God's honest truth. For everybody who's listening out there, you can check with Steve Kern. You can check with Mike Bucci. It is the truth. Now, you tell me I didn't play the game. I played it perfectly in the worker's position. But you mean to tell me because some guy in the office had a hard-on for me and you wanted me fired, you lose your job? That's not cool. That's not good. For all the time and effort, the training I did, I'm cool with it. I'm good with it. I lived my dream. I got to the WWE when nobody thought I did. I had a successful run. I got the Pose and Play Girl magazine tastefully. I was with the FBI. I did the dress. I had an undefeated streak. I lived kayfabe. I did it all the right way. If it was the politics game I lacked that, hey, I'm sorry. I'm not a kiss-ass kind of guy, Vince. Go ahead.
And also, you know, guys, I want to tell you something. There are going to be penalties to be paid on the other side. Bro, whether you believe in God and whether you believe in Christianity, whether you do believe in doing the right thing, whether you do believe in karma, whether you believe in any of that, I promise you, bro, the way you live your life right here on this earth, there are either going to be blessings or there are either going to be consequences on the other side. And I honestly believe, I'm not going to get into a whole sermon here because I want to hit something else. This is a proving ground, bro. This right here, this life, this earth is a proving ground of where we're going to stand when it really matters. And there are going to be a lot of people, bro, who are on top in this proving ground for all the wrong reasons that are going to find themselves as bottom feeders on the other side when it matters. Vito, I want to tell you about another instance I never talk about. This was where Eric Bischoff and myself absolutely blew up to this day. Okay, because what he did to me was the worst thing anybody in the wrestling business ever did to me. It was, you know, incomprehensible, bro. And I listen, I just told you guys I was a Christian. You know what, bro? I'm supposed to forgive everybody. And Eric is forgiven, but not somebody I would hang out with or form a friendship with. Vito, I had to coexist with Eric Bischoff because Dixie Carter didn't understand. I mean, Dixie couldn't understand the basic math. Okay, well, these guys didn't get along at WCW. It's documented that they were oil and water. So I'm going to put them together at TNA because they're magically going to get together. No, the reason him and I don't get together are because we're two totally different freaking animals. Okay, bro? But Dixie hired him. Dixie was the boss. So, okay, Dixie, I'm going to try to make this work for you. I did everything to try to make it work with Eric. I smartened Eric up a lot about Dixie to kind of let him know this is where the company is. This is why it's where it is. This is why we keep running in place and we're not going to get him any further. I kind of let him know everything he needed to know because Eric really believed in his heart of hearts that him and Hulk were going to come in and turn the company around. They weren't going to. Nobody was going to come in and turn that company around because it was set up for failure. So I kind of told Eric, I know what you and Hulk think you're going to do, but under this structure and under Dixie, it's not going to happen, bro. And I explained to him Dixie's shortcomings as a boss. Even though she was a great woman, these were her shortcomings as the boss. That's why it's not going to happen. Okay, Vito. Bro, I wanted to bring Bret Hart into into TNA. This was before he came back to the WWE, bro. Now, I think very, very highly of Bret. I always have thought very highly of Bret. I speak very highly of Bret. Jeremy Borash hooked me up on the phone, and I had a long conversation with Bret, and he was wide open to coming to TNA. Okay? I went to Eric, and I said, Eric, I got off the phone with Bret. man, I think we can get him. We need to talk to Dixie. Bro, Eric was 150% for the idea. Vince, that's a great idea. This was before he ever went back to the WWE, Brett. I think it's a great idea. Brett on television again. I think there's a lot. He put the idea over huge. Okay, bro? So now I told Dixie. Dixie's excited about it now. Bro, we're this close now to bringing Bret Hart into TNA. Well, Eric went to Hulk. And he said, Hulk, Vince had a conversation with Brett, Dixie, we want to bring him into TNA. Okay? Hulk played his creative control card. That doesn't work for me, brother. No, if Bret Hart comes in this company, I'm not working here. Bro, which was his prerogative because they gave him creative control. So I'm not going to get hot at Hulk. I told TNA not to give him creative control because of the problems at WCW. They gave him creative control, so now he was playing that card. So now he says, without a doubt, to Eric, no, I don't want Bret in. I'm playing creative control. No. Okay, bro? Well, bro, now Eric tells Dixie, you know what? I don't think Bret is a good fit for TNA. And now Dixie she was getting a little upset because she had her hopes on bringing Bret in. Well, bro, now Eric proceeds to bury Bret Hart. All he had to say was, Dixie, Hulk Hogan's playing his creative control card, which you gave him. He does not want to work with Bret. That's all he had to say, but he didn't want to say that to Dixie because Dixie wanted Bret, and he didn't want Dixie to get hot at Hulk. Okay? So now Eric starts burying Bret. Oh, nah, bro, he's no good. He's old. He's washed up. He's hard to deal with. He's this, he's that. And I said, wait a minute, Eric. Before you had the conversation with Hulk, you were 100% on board. You were putting Bret over. If Bret can't work here because of Hulk's creative control, then just say that. Don't freaking start burying my friend because I'm going to have a problem with that, bro. If it's because Hulk's playing his creative control card, just say that. But Eric wouldn't say that because he didn't want to get Dixie pissed off at Hulk, right? So, bro, this got so out of freaking hand, and I was so irate at Eric for just not telling the freaking truth. We had to have a big meeting with the lawyers, and everybody came in, and everybody there was a big meeting, right? So, Vito, we're at this meeting, and I laid out exactly what happened. I said Eric was 100% on board with this. Hulk played his creative control card. Eric now turned around and said he didn't think Bret was a good fit. He started saying a lot of negative, bad things about Bret. I had a problem with that because Bret is my friend, and Eric, doesn't want Bret here because Hulk doesn't want him. I explained the whole situation. Okay, bro? So now, they turn to Eric and they say, Eric, is that true? Bro, I never saw a master at work better than this in my life. I sat there and I worked with a lot of workers. This was the most incredible thing I had ever seen. Okay. So now they go to Eric and they ask Eric, Eric, is this true? Were you on board with Bret until Hulk played the creative control card? Vito, Eric turned around and told Dixie every single thing I had told him about her in confidence. Okay? Wow. And I sat there and bro, he's talking directly at her, not looking at me. And Dixie kept turning to me and saying, "Did you say that, Vince?" I said, "Yeah, Dixie, I told him that, but you and I had the same conversation." And she goes, "Vince, yes, Dixie, but there's nothing that I said to Eric about some of your business decisions that I did not say to you." Bro, Dixie swung her seat around, and now the conversation became between me and her. He had worked himself out of that situation with Hogan by taking everything I told him confidently about Dixie and TNA and why he was going to have problems succeeding and telling her every single thing I said. From that moment on, I was done with him, bro. I was done with him. I didn't want to have anything to do with him. He showed his true colors. He showed the type of human being that he is. But, again, bro, I did what's right because I stuck up for Bret Hart. And you're not going to bury a guy that I worked with and I thought highly of and represents himself like a gentleman. You're not going to bury him because Hulk's going to play his creative control card. And you know what? That's the thing. For both of us, Vito, I sit here at the end of the day. It's over, bro. It's over. I'm not going to work for TNA. I'm not going to work for the WWE. It's freaking over. But you know what, bro? I'm 1,000% fine with it. I didn't screw anybody, bro. I didn't talk behind anybody's back. I didn't take anybody's job. I didn't say anything about anybody else that I wouldn't have said to their face. It's just like my show today. Everything I say goes out to the air, on the airwaves. And I say, bro, you got something to say to me. I'm saying it. Everybody can listen to it. I'm saying it. I freaking own it. I would say it directly to you. You know how many times bro, by the way, Eric Bischoff later made the comment that he made me cry in that meeting, that I was crying.
I remember.
Yeah, that's the meeting he's talking about. But yet I sit here. I'm the liar, bro. I'm talking behind your back. I did you wrong. Why aren't you coming on my show, bro? But that's the point. The point is, bro, I would have not wanted anything to go any other way. Bro, I got a call a couple of months ago from somebody in the WWE. Vince, they need you, bro. They need you. You know what you have to do. You got to eat a little crow. You got to you got to kiss Vince's ass. You know the deal. You know the game, bro. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing what. Why would I at my age now? Why I didn't do it then? Why would I do that now, bro? As long as I'm honest and I'm true to myself, I'm going to be taken care of. My family's not starving. Vito's family isn't starving. We're freaking taken care of. And like I said, bro, people that get there the wrong way, trust me, bro, there's going to be a rude awakening on the other side. I have no regrets, Vito. Do you?
No, I don't have none. And you know what, people? The one thing, it was tough to be Vince Russo's buddy. And that's why we're friends today, 26 years later, right? Everybody always had something to say about Vince Russo, and I never stabbed my buddy in the back. And I took a lot of crap for being his friend, but I did not care. And anybody who had something to say about Vince, I always told them, I don't want to hear what you have to say. He's my friend. How could you be friends? I said, because he's my buddy. Don't ever talk about him. I don't want to hear it. And nobody knew not to say nothing. And because...
And meanwhile, those people were going to you and not coming to me.
And then when it came time for jobs or anything happening, people always remembered, I'm Vince Russo's buddy. And if they wanted to get back at Russo, they did things to me. This is true. It's documented. It's not a lie, people. That was the politic game. You want to get back at Russo? Get it at Vito. But don't say anything to Vito about Russo because he's not going to like it. He'll come at you. But if you do something work-wise, you tell Vito, listen, you got to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to question it. I know I'm being screwed over, but that's the game you have to play. What am I going to do? I'm going to fight for something that I know I'm not going to win. I ate it. I did it. But you know what? Anytime I knew I was getting screwed, I was the best screw job in the business because I did it better than what you thought. And if you thought you were going to bury me, I made it so good. They say, hey, man, that was freaking great what you did out there. Good job. Thank you. I had a smile on my face and I walked away. So you think you could work me, but I worked you and I beat you at your own game. Maybe the outcome wasn't me winning or going up or getting that contract, but you know what? I made a point of being the best I could be in that ring. And it showed every time I was out there, whether I was getting screwed or not, whether it was because of Vince Russo. I was not even given jobs because I was Vinny's buddy back in the WWF days, if people didn't know that. That's another true story. But you know what, guys? Me and him are buddies. I never buried my friend. That's why we're doing a podcast. We're here doing great things. We're sharing some knowledge. We're having a good thing. Positive vibes, positive thoughts. Let's get to the Emma thing because people are blowing up Twitter.
Go, it's all you. Go.
Guys, I have been saying for the last month and a half that this girl had championship pedigree. Everybody laughed at me. The past 2 matches, TLC, Monday Night Raw, she outshined the new star like there was nobody's business. I said, this is great. She's going to get a break. Why did she get fired? I think it was the biggest bullshit screw job you ever seen anybody get handed for doing the work, doing a good job, for putting hard work in. How could you fire the girl? She didn't do anything wrong in the ring. It's either a backstage issue or somebody had it in for her, or she was supposed to lay down and look like some poor slouch for this a soccer girl who's supposed to be the next greatest star. Let me give you a little hindsight, people. When you're going in there and you're in there with somebody, and I've been in the position, and I know there wasn't nobody who was going to make me look like no slouch. I was going to give you 150%. Even they said, hey, Vito, you think you can go 50? No, I'm going 150. They better keep up with me because I'm the guy. I'm not that guy. And Emma went out there and did her job, outshined that girl. I still want to know how she got fired after the 2 matches she just had. I know it's got to be a backstage thing. It's got to be a politic thing. It's got to be something. I think that is the worst firing in WWE history after a TLC match, after a Monday Night Raw, where the girl asserted herself. You're not that plentiful. There are other girls who probably are not as good as Emma, or other girls who are not doing what she's doing, and you're going to fire her after this? Makes no sense. Total bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. Excuse my language, people. You know I don't curse. I don't like to do it. But I think that is horrible. Worst decision I've seen. The Darren Young thing, okay. Guys get released. I'm sorry he lost his job. Summer Rae, I think she was good for what she did doing the valet stuff. I'm sorry she lost the job. She was doing a great thing on promotional stuff, but there comes a time when there's no more run for you to do it in a company, and they have to make cuts, and other people come in. But Summer Rae, but Emma getting released, worst thing I ever seen. It's total bullshit, guys. That's where your politics are. That's where your backstage things are. Unless she stabbed somebody, she killed somebody, she did something so absurd backstage, there's no reason why that girl should be on the unemployment line. And I hope that she makes it in the indie scene and becomes a bigger star, bigger that she doesn't need the WWE in years to come. Go ahead, Vince.
Well, first of all, bro, nobody needs the WWE. Let me make that clear. I mean, I hope everybody working there doesn't understand it because they think they do need the WWE. Trust me, bro. I'm here. I don't work for the WWE. I'm doing just fine. Vito's there, not working for the WWE. I can go on and on and on and on. Vito, here's the bottom line. We heard, I heard months and months and months and months and months and months about this Asuka. As a matter of fact, I think Triple H was quoted once as saying, you could take anybody off of my NXT roster but Asuka. I believe Triple H made that quote. So now that tells you how high Triple H was on this girl. They're playing vignettes week after week after week. Bro, they don't play vignettes for anybody anymore. Okay, so now, Jesus himself is coming to the WWE. Okay, bro? I've never seen the girl before in my life. I don't watch NXT. I'm not a fan of Japanese wrestling. No, I'm not a racist. I'm not a fan of a strong style in a worked freaking business when guys and girls can get hurt. Okay, bro? That's why I'm not a boxing fan or an MMA fan because I'm more of an entertainment guy. I don't like to see guys get freaking hurt. Okay, that's why I'm not a fan of New freaking Japan. But nevertheless, I never saw it before. All of a sudden, I see this match Monday night, and I'm just, this is the fuss. This is the girl that was undefeated for a year. This is the girl that Triple H is saying he can't do without. Freaking Deborah Maselli in her prime was head over tails better than this freaking girl. But far and freaking away. I saw Deborah Maselli in her freaking prime. I saw Sherry Martel in her freaking prime. Are you kidding me? So the match was a freaking stinker, bro. Well, this is Triple H's girl, bro. You could take anybody from my NXT roster but her. We had all this hype, all this hoopla with Asuka. Who are we going to blame? Asuka? Are we going to blame Asuka, bro? No, you're not going to blame Asuka. You're going to blame the poor schlep that was in the ring with her. But, bro, let's back it up even more, Vito.
Go ahead.
Because it's Asuka's debut. So they handpicked Emma to put her in the ring with Asuka. Now, I doubt very much, bro, that they handpicked Emma because they knew the match was going to be bad, and that would be a reason to give Emma her release. I doubt if they, bro, I don't put that past them, but I don't think they're that stupid. You know, Asuka's debuting, you wanted to have a good match. You got to get her in there with the right person. Obviously, bro, freaking Emma was not the right person. You put Emma in there with her. You made that decision to put Emma in the ring with her. So if the match was a stinker, who freaking booked Emma in the match? There was no chemistry there. They didn't work well together. That's just as much on you as it is on the talent. So, like, you know, bro, that's why it's like, okay, bro, somebody's got to be the fall guy. You know, bro, it's like, you know, the Yankees didn't make it to the World Series. Joe Girardi's going to be the fall guy. Asuka's first match sucked. So M is gonna be the fall guy. But my God, if you think so highly of this freaking girl, and you had months and months and months and months of a buildup before her debut, freaking pick the right freaking opponent that she's gonna have chemistry with, and it's gonna be a good match.
You're absolutely right.
And the Darren Young thing, did this guy lose his job because that creative with Bob Backlund was atrocious? Nothing against Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund is a great entertainer. I love Bob Backlund. He's one of my favorite people. They booked it like the shit. That's Darren Young's fault that the creative he was given was the shits?
No, Vince, I'm telling you. And if, Emma, you watch this show or listen to your show, I am one of your biggest supporters. I've been supporting you through. I saw championship pedigree. I'm sorry you lost your job. You got the shaft. But you know what, girl? Go out there and work hard for every other company. Go make $2 million instead of the $1 million you were going to make with this company, and go have yourself a hell of a career. I think you're the goods.
And let me tell you something too, Vito. This is what really bothered me. Did you see what Emma's response was to being let go?
I didn't catch it.
A broken heart. It was an emoji of a broken heart. That's what I mean. Emma, don't let them break your freaking heart, bro, because you could be the greatest freaking talent in the world. You could do everything they want you to do. Vito was, bro. Listen, bro, I've never met a harder worker in my life than Vito. Vito does everything you ask him to do. Every time he's in that room, he's in that ring, it's believable. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Because all it takes is one freaking a-hole who doesn't like you or has it out for you, or Triple H wants to cover Asuka because she had a bad match. Oh, it wasn't Asuka, it was him. Don't have a broken heart over them. Freaking stand tall. If you can look in the mirror and know that you did the best you could do every night, you came to play every night, you left it in the ring every night. Did you make mistakes and F up sometimes? Yeah, you did, bro. We all do. We're freaking human. John Cena makes mistakes. Steve Austin makes mistakes. But if you know that you gave it everything you have, screw it. Because you're going to go find an employee that's going to respect you, and you're going to find an employee that's going to be thankful that you're working for them. Don't let anybody break your freaking heart after being let go, especially in the wrestling business, because at the end of the day, and I think Vito will tell you this, a lot of time, Vito, it's not about the talent you have.
It's about who you know and who's willing to give you the push and what you could do for that person. Because if anybody's going to judge talent, and you know what, guys, the number one rule in podcasting is never put yourself over, but it's the only way I can explain things to you guys because I experienced it. I wasn't the biggest guy. I didn't have the best body at one time. I wasn't, you know, I lacked some things. But the one thing I did have, I had heart and I had determination, and I was willing to put the time in. And you can't take away someone's heart, and you can't take away the determination. And when you have it in your mind, you're going to be the best. You are going to be the best. There are a lot of guys who tried to outshoot me, out wrestle me, out. You know what? Never happened because I didn't let it happen. And if I was tired, you never knew it. I just kept going. Or I got it into third gear when you were on set or on your first. Wrestling is not life. Life comes first. Wrestling comes second. Learn it here. Have a plan B. Go get a college education. Okay? Go do your training. Go to a reputable training school. Okay? Take care of yourself. Do safety. Make sure you get a doctor's clearance. Most of all, have a plan B, guys, because wrestling is not going to make it. And not everybody makes it. I was a great basketball player, the next great white hope. I thought I was going to the NBA. And you know what? I played in Madison Square Garden. I had scholarship offers all over the country. I couldn't take it because I was an idiot in school, and I thought I was going to coast on basketball. Didn't happen. You know what? I learned a lesson. I did the wrestling business. I tried out for the Olympic baseball team. I was going to do semi-pro football. I was even going to do boxing. But when it came to wrestling, I found my niche. I made the mistake, and I put wrestling ahead of my family, ahead of my life. I learned a valuable lesson. Now I try to teach you guys something. Wrestling comes second in your life. Your family's first. Plan B, guys. And if you don't have a plan B, have a plan C. You'll figure it out one day, Vince.
And Emma, if you're not there, it's because you're not supposed to be there. Everything happens for a reason. Your story is written long before you're born. If you're no longer with the WWE, it's for a reason. You're not supposed to be there. Trust me. So please stop with the broken heart. Rise above it. You could accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. You know how many few people make it to the WWE? Well, you made it there. Okay, what when you put your career in the hands of other people, it is now out of your control. And there's only so much you can do. So please do not have a broken heart over this. Vito, go ahead. Tell me what you're doing. What do you want to plug? What's going on over there, bro?
All right, what we're doing now, I'm going to bring in my wife. Come on in, babe. It's the end of the show. I get the best part of this deal. My sexy wife gets to sit on my lap. Here she comes. All right, get the walker out of there, the wheelchair, the gas mask, the oxygen. Come on, babe. Here you go. There she is. All right.
I feel like I'm too high up.
Well, you know, you're on top of your game. Babe, why don't you give everybody the scoop on what we're doing? Go ahead.
What are we doing?
The YouTube, our project. Yeah,
okay.
Do the end of the show.
I'll give you the scoop. All right. So if you want to check us out on YouTube, we're Wrestling with Reality. We put up several shows a week. That is the Big Vito brand on YouTube. On Twitter, you can follow the Big Vito brand. If you'd like to catch us on our Q&As, we do them on Tuesday night at 7 on Facebook Live, and we do them Thursday night at 7 as on Facebook Live as well. And then the YouTube has the enhanced version with pictures and funny jokes and silly things in it. But we are going to do a Q&A on Halloween.
Right.
With the nephews.
With the nephews. Now, as a special added bonus for the Vince Russo brand, Vito is now going to join the announce team for Tuesday nights. And I'm going to throw my hat in there. And you know what? This is a great project I'm doing. Because you know what, guys? This is my second career. You know what? I'm trying to do something different. Podcasting, possibly going into radio. I'm getting a lot of practice. I'm trying to do something good. And you know what? I enjoy it a lot. I share the knowledge. And for those of you following the Kenny Bolin Wars on Twitter, he's a nasty man. He doesn't have a show. He's not with the brand. Look at my pictures. The team. There's no I's in team. But with brand,
bro, listen.
Brand.
There's
no
listen, I'm going to give you since you're going to be doing the review show with us on a weekly basis, bro.
All right.
There's got to be some responsibility with that job, bro.
All right, so give them to me. Tell me.
I got to be able to kind of sit back and kind of call the shots here and there, bro. And like you said, you were always asked what you were told to do. You always did what you were told to do. The whole 9 yards. You just gave a whole speech about that, bro.
Right.
I'm going to give you marching orders when we record the show Tuesday night.
So what do you want to do?
You hear me? You listening to me?
I'm listening.
You gotta fire Spider Rico. This kid brings nothing to the table. I'm not interested in him getting Kenny Bolin soda. I'm bored with it. I'm quite honestly bored with it. It annoys me that I got to sit there and look at him for the hour and a half. So that is going to be your job on Tuesday. Is accepted?
Accepted. Vince, can we fire Kenny Bolin? Now, I want to fire Kenny.
Vince is like the Godfather. He's like Luca Brasi.
I'm good. I'll fire him. Spider, you're done. But it's Kenny Bolin who doesn't have a show. He's not with the brand. He's not with the team. He doesn't have a show. He's not an individual like me. He's not a commodity. You know, I did this. I did that. I did the other thing. I. Go be a sailor. Do me a favor. You're making me sick, Kenny.
Kenny Bolin on the high seas, bro, is a sailor, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you. You know what's great? He talks about how he makes all these stars and he's the #1 rated podcaster. He's the #1 views. He's the #1 this.
Collar and elbow merch. Collar and elbow, #1. Collar and elbow.
Yeah, he's all these things. If Kenny Bolin is all these things, I want to know, people, and this is a good question. Please ask him on Twitter. Why don't you have your own show? Why don't you have your own network? How come you're not how come you never on your Facebook, when you say you work for the WWE and it says where you worked, you put down Ohio Valley. You never worked under the WWE banner. Was it because your paychecks came from Ohio Valley? I'm just giving the scoop. I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. Vince, scoop. You work for TNA, your checks came from TNA. You work for WWE, your checks came from WWE. I did the same, but when Kenny, they came from OVW. He was never part of the WWE universe. And God forbid Kenny ever had to go into rehab for the WWE. He couldn't go there, and you know why? Because he never worked there.
Bro, maybe you can do a little expose, bro. Because I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm going to just throw this out there, bro. You know, I mean, we Big Vito's trying to establish himself in the podcast world, right, bro? Well, bro, right. Well, I know because, we've talked about it a couple of times before, and you talked about it on this show. You were very, very tight with Batista.
Right.
Well, Kenny Bolin, he claims responsibility for John Cena and Batista. And maybe if you want to put an end to all this nonsense, bro, you could reach out to your movie star friend. Maybe you bring him on. Maybe let him confront Mr. Bolin, and maybe we put an end to the charade once and for all, bro.
Listen, he's a hard man to get in touch with. I make no promises. I will try to make a phone call. I will see if he could do it. But when was the last time, Kenny got a Christmas card, a gift basket, something from Easter? Anything? No, he never got nothing.
Bro, did you?
You don't even get a hello.
Bro, did you ever see Batista's lunchbox collection?
Yes, I did.
Is it impressive? How many does he have? I love lunchbox. I love the old metal ones, though, the old school ones.
he had this room in his house where he had his belts, he had the lunch boxes, he had like a bunch of memorabilia stuff, and he was pretty high on the stuff. I mean, really, that was his thing. And I'm not into the comic books, I'm not into the memorabilia, but my wife is, but he had all this stuff. It was pretty cool.
Bro, you know those old school lunch boxes, the metal ones, especially if they have the thermos, bro. You know you're looking at like $200 a piece for those things.
I guess so. I guess they're a good collector's item. I was a Batman kid, you know what I mean? And I had the Batmobile, I had the Bat Bank, had Bat costumes every Halloween. I was Batman, you know, and now I'm Elvis. So I don't know what happened.
Our first conversation was that.
Yeah,
the first thing I said to him was, before I start talking to you, you have to tell me how you feel about Batman. He's, oh, I love Batman. I can date you then. You have to love Batman.
Now you were talking about old school Batman, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the only the only Batman. Yeah, the only Batman.
Old school Batman. That's it. That's all that counts.
All right, guys. Well, listen, man, it's been great. Vito, Noel, very educational. I loved it. I enjoy myself here every Sunday night. And everybody, you guys, you can follow. So Tuesday, Thursday, you're on Facebook, but you're doing and Halloween's going to be a special one this week.
Right.
All right.
So, and then we're going to do the show.
Right. We're going to do the show on Tuesday. You're going to fire Spider Rico. That's the hook, bro. That's the hook for everybody now, that you're going to fire this kid on Tuesday night. So you got to deliver the goods.
Can I attend this? I mean, I'll dress.
Yeah, you can attend it. You can be here for this firing. You know, I'm not, you know, I'm being a guy, you know, now that I am officially, like everybody knows, I was with the brand, but now I'm officially, you know, one of the key members of the band. I'm like one of the boss of bosses. You know, I'll be Castellano or Gotti. It doesn't matter. But now I get to fire people, you know. I'll send my guy over there. We'll take care of it. And, you know, but Spider's no more. The stuttering prick. He's gone.
He's going to have to get back to Kroger's.
Very nice.
Back to Kroger's.
Back to Kroger's. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. And I will see everybody tomorrow. I think tomorrow I have That's Life. And then the next day, the firing of Spider Rico. We will see everybody tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Take care, Vin.